Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hello, everyone. I'm really grateful to be in this space with you today. Welcome to the 161st Wednesday poetry reading at the Rail and our 957th episode of the New Social Environment daily conversation series on Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us today for a Motley Quintet, a rail reading curated by Filip Marinovich and featuring readings by Leah Flax Barber, Briskin, Casper Lee, and Pinkney. You'll find some information in the chat throughout this reading about Filip and today's esteemed readers. And I'll start us off by reading a bit of information about Filip. Um, so, Filip Marinovich is the author of The Suitcase Tree, Wolfman Library, and If You Don't Go Crazy, I'll Meet You Here Tomorrow, and Zero Readership, an Epic. He teaches the roving seminar Shakespearean Motley College in its various incarnations online and live at Torn Page, Chelsea, Manhattan. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Filip with tremendous gratitude.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Motley Quintet. Today we're going to be hearing from five poets, the five poets who happen to be in a Motley Quintet. And it is way too early for this, but that's why I love it, because usually we meet and it's like really late night and then we go until like midnight and then we fall over and do it all again the next day. But this is great. We have me, and then we have Eli, and then we have Leah and Casper and Allie. So I'm going to read first to open things up, and then we're going to hear from the rest of the quintet. Sounds good? Yeah? All right, cool. All right. The sound is coming through all right? Yeah? Cool. All right. So I'm going to read some pieces that I wrote during our Motley sessions in Sagittarius. These pieces are all 100% Sagittarian milk. Okay. This first one is a prose poem. I hope you'll be able to hear the absence of line breaks. Another Florida. George Washington's rubber inflatable boat of light blue did not cross the Delaware with him on it, but his double did ride it that night of the Revolutionary War, which lasted only one day and one night and was over before the double even reached the other shore. So there's no more thing to talk about is the thing. But nevertheless, we shall go on the directions of the pounding shore of waves overtaking the superhighway to get out of Florida. Where are we migrating? Dorida. The Florida of Doors, just north of Florida, in Toronto, Greenland. Right where you stand in the permafrost, lacing up your sneakers and lifting you gently out of your shiver into laced up racing position and momentum, now that the starting gun has gone off and you can walk off the bullet in your gut with ease. It's easier to let it melt quickly by walking than sprinting at intervals through intervalleys. Starting gun bullet thaws out faster than donut fat in Toronto, Florida, another England, where I entered the crystal tourmaline medicine cabinet and checked for speed and downer pills, but found only boring meds for psychiatric disturbances I did not yet have. But now that I do, I can and do appreciate them too, and duet with them. Did you check out my duets with Depakote from the library? Can you like it while you're there so I can have more followers? So you can throw me all your followers, and then we can have each other's followers follow us and multiply our audiences and their longing for us until they are all our mail order love slaves waiting at our doorsteps naked in ribbons, and no one can steal them because FedEx stands guard until they are picked up by you and your retinal scan when you come home from tennis with Carol, Dennis, and the carpool kids, chlorinated beyond red eye. We're talking about eyeballs falling out onto the entrance carpet, where you have to brush your teeth to protect from bacteria and viruses and cameo appearances by raccoons, penetrating your kitchen fence defenses. All you have to do to like duets with Depakote is turn the lobster claw dial on the library clock and sing one of its ditties backwards, softly, to your dog, or if you don't have one, to your soccer ball. Walk your soccer ball, kick it down the street and pass to yourself, and stop it, look up. The great raccoon constellation descends all around you, back from a recon mission to your kitchen, where all the cans of beans have been emptied. You borrow that raccoon's infrared visor and look through your house in the dark, where all the tennis players now sleep. They have eaten the gingerbread staircases. You are complete. Cosplay with cousin cause. What is the cause of thunder? What if I punish home with a pincushion hovel of pink? How many needles get stuck in it? Think, is this acupuncture beach? I think so. I would like to be a comet and so go backwards through the sky, a fork of proofreading night. Thank you, light. Tonight I forgot to touch the paper trees. The papyrus kings escaped me and wrap themselves now around the mummified crocodile of Miles. When you say I sound like a mic'd burial mound, when you say I sound like a biking burial mound, I find thee apt to take on a more harebrained mission than thou ever couldst comprehend a mile ago when we were but friends. And the vulture goiter of Ruby Prefecture protected us from the mighty X-rays of the vacation sun pounding off the slopes of Mount Renegade. There's Silhouette Mountain, Switzerland, where Sister Ister flows through an isosceles triangle portal cavern, measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. It involves hovels and celebrating the speechfulness of them. Hi, show me your Milky Way background. I will not. I prefer to nurse straight from the Milky Way in privacy, and will not be intruded upon through the Chinese screen of ginkgo leaves, where Uncle Dragon sings through his newly hoarse voice from the first post-sex cigarette ever, and the waterfall bloodletting the consumptive clouds to get them to stop coughing and come down. No brother will ever betray his brother again because we've got these headphones now, wheel headphones from the plane. Each wheel spoke attaches to your eardrum, and you turn the water wheel of airborne days on the way to New Zealand, but I will punish home. How do you claim to do that? I take away our chandelier caryatid artery of architecture, valence, support matrix, carry my id away from me and far hence deep within to the intimacy one through the black market and its stalls in the K square bombed by Germans and allies alike. No wonder state took me for a mole, bugged my phone, buggered my home, so I must not punish it. It is okay and lovely home to be buggered, but only if you want. The unconsensual buggering of the home by the state shall cease forthwith, and the tenderness takeover will commence without transition. Just bumble into it where it is. Find me where I was. That place is tenement dust bunnies blown away through the hallway draft and the open windows of our looped raggedness that keep repeating that keep repeating that keep repeating that keeps repeating, and that. 2. Is there any cause in nature that makes these hard hearts? I thought you said, is there any balls in a fracture begot while playing goalie, while thy mate shoots hockey pucks at thee through the mouth gate of a larger prehistoric dog fossil mouth than I can see? There now, father. Enjoy thy strawberry shortcake welkin, and it comes falling in through the free speech colander slots above Michigan, where Prince Mishkin rides his reindeer all of snow, and plinth trashkin anoints our descending architecture of sinkhole palace night. I have said cause twice tonight because I did not expect to. Throw the window out the lesson plan. Let's freeze tonight in our hotel chain of hovels, touring from one to the other to the third, and see what sheaths we can pull from our swords. Is't possible thou canst comprehend me yet, wit daddy-o? I require thy life. I require thee to set free thy caretaker mummy, who thou art dragging down with thee through the quicksand firmament. It's so cold up here, I melt your wings. Oh, that we could talk, and you could talk like you talk now, and translate rocking chair speech into your own Creek language of porch fluency. One time, Mummy would not stop talking to me whilst I meditatist there. One time it was a question and answer snare by a very good reporter threatening to find me naked where I was unaware of the surveillance. Thus I rehearse all my parts to the water droplets at Commodity Square, in the community shower at South Nowhere. My throat clears in the thrownness of sports towels and locker room brawls. If you wanted to see it, we could just drop towels. But there has to be a pretense. We are, after all, vowels here, not men. And even if we were developing into the ghastly sweater spinning wheels we inherit now, I would elope with you to get out of it, roughhouse friend who took me far from sleep under mummy and daddy-o, and took me with your Methuen mass shaft deeper into woods than chemistry set ever did go, or my name isn't John T. Chemistry Set explodes, as we sway over the Tijan tombstone, as you chase me through the forest where I unpeel one article of clothing per every 7 steps, and by the time we lose our breath, we find our lift in the leaves where we sit down and you ask if I mind. I say no. While you're already doing it, I love you so. So what if you don't kiss me first? I know, this is how you first get blown. I'll do one more, and then we'll go on. This is called The Skaters at Volcanic Lake. I have never become the mountain I am fully because I am Twin Peaks, both Laura Palmer, the brilliant murdered high school student, and Dale Cooper, the detective searching for the murderer and losing and finding his selva oscura selves in the Pacific Northwest fog and Douglas fir forests and the pancake strata of lodge hotel breakfasts. My father killed me with his high durational abuse, and my brother helped him a lot, since I was and am the only queer intellectual in the family, the only non-assimilating Yugoslav alien. In the vigorously defended family delusion of the melting pot, lava eruption and brief periods of volcanic lakedom make up my experience. Its tongue is the mountain river, and its fingers the icy peaks, fuging down to the ocean through the fuego of minutes, kalpas, and weeks. Is that you, Sudong Po, you fabulous queer mountaineer you? I wish I knew how to quit you. The Brokeback mountaineering nearing me is nearest. It's not that I never outed myself. Indeed, I practice iterative outness, romantic relationships with men and women, and writing and performing texts in praise of them. But bisexuality or polysexuality has been under persecution or invisibility for a long time, and from all ideological sides. I've endured many wrathful homophobias from my Balkan family, both here and in Yugoslavia, and its remains. I carry a ghost country sidereally inside me, as well as a ghost guest woman who sometimes speaks through me. I call her Elsie Bell after William Carlos Williams' Elsie, and because she continually wakes me in all her potentiality, peeling. But I also carry so many equally true opposing persons. I don't feel it would be honest for me to transition. Perhaps I'm more genderqueer than trans, but haven't found a way to express that as wildly as I want to, except sometimes in writing and performing. What if becoming the mountain you truly are involves the kind of polyamory that could kill you? And so I have to keep certain mountain chains in check in my mountain range, however much they grow into me, turning inside crystals into gravy and New Jersey Palisades, when just a minute before they were Montmartian Martian cliffs of ruby gifting Paris. Prismatic as it remains in my chest, beating, flaking, grating, tectonic plating, driving me far from sleep, a dromedary caravan nocturne, percussive with the lash of whips and Saharan mid-air dust altars. As the Saharan dust storm crosses the Atlantic, a ghost slave ship fleet docking throughout Florida, enunciating gay throughout the hallways of all its schools. Gay, 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 Florida, be you always gay in the name of everyone massacred at Pulse nightclub. You will be haunted until you sink into the Caribbean you stole so many lives from, or China fires on us from Cuba, and we are all the dust storm spaceship flying to Mars with no one on board, not even one memory of our racing United States death pace planes, ships, bodies, bombs, and cars. Okay, thank you very much for listening. And now we're going to continue bopping on along with the sounds of the Motley Quintet. And now we have Eli Briskin, aka E. Briskin. And I'm glad I was speaking about the Pacific Northwests and the Douglas fir, for Eli does much of his multi-track recordings through the Douglas fir microphones of the rainstorms, and builds the staircases of summer, and does wonderful things like disappears and builds the stairway up to a new kind of poetry, and makes letters that are made of words so that we remember the material that we're actually using and how we can recycle it so as not to burn our very homes down. And this is sustainability as ecstasy. And therefore I give you Eli Briskin.
Wow, that's really all I can say after that. Philip, that was wonderful. Thank you for that last one too. Okay, a warning. This this is a bit of a villanelle. I wrote 100 once, and this was the only one that I didn't throw out. Tulip. Under the ground, the bulb ripens, warming beneath half-present frost. It will wither, will coarsen. Beneath lightless stars, the frugal sun, sunken, dejected, sinks steady like pallbearers almost under the ground. The bulb ripens. When it rises, will it be broken? Will it savor a seasoned thrust before it withers and coarsens? Once I was a madman who burrowed beneath the earth with lust. Under the ground, the bulbs ripened my root-wound chest. Please lessen this, the silence of dirt pressed against green, and such only will. Wither, coarsen, bend to the teasing grass that runs open, bend to the sparrows pecking bent at winter's crust. Under the ground, the bulb ripens. It will wither and coarsen. Warning, lots of penis, sorry. She asked, why are you writing such a bloody long sentence? And he said, that sounds like my penis. And I said, you wish. And she said, good one, genius. And he had said something about his penis being a genius. And I said, I'm writing because I'm writing the sentence, which isn't working out. And he said something about his penis working out, and she said it didn't. And I said, can you shut up? Some of us are writing a long sentence. And he said something about how his penis was a sentence, which could have been clever, but relied on misconceptions about grammar, plus a limp metaphor about freckles. And she said, why do I even know you sad morons? And I said, it's my fault. It's my fault. And he said something stupid about a fault in his penis, comma, there not being one. And she said, look, stupid, I'm sick of sordid, flippant comments. Plus, shut up, it's finally starting. And he said, my penis isn't stupid. And I said, it'd be funnier if it wasn't sordid, flippant, or finally starting. And she said, like I said, look, I don't have any patience. And he said, like I said, look, I don't have any penis. And we got quiet for a second. You could tell it was true. And I said, I hope that my sentence has a summing up at the end. And he said, try 0. That sums up my penis. And she said, ah, damn it, quit your crying. You can borrow one of mine. And he said, it's a good thing we met, even though we're such sad morons. And I said, shut up. Let's shut up now. The curtain is rising. And he said, all perky again. So is my penis. And she said, no, shut it. Shut it up now. Just shut it. Shut up. Your penis is not prelude, not a flugelhorn, not drumstick or baton. You can talk to the rest, but shut up for 10 minutes. This is Lohengrin playing, the best overture ever written. The sole reason I allow the word exquisite to exist. Rabbit. They were hair with bald short. They were eyes with green bold. They were constructs with person of attribute. They'd lost their aunt earring sandwich. They'd found their grimace, rat, nerve. They storied places about tellings I will can't but not recall. Am I a poem yet? They're up. Look my at friends. Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick look at this one. I don't know if you can see this. It's a letter. A man strolls out of an Apple store. He carries a bag of small fruit, a phone, a Smith, a tablet, an Evercrisp, an old monitor with a new prediction of self inside. If the man has a goal, it's to become old again. If the new man could be an old man, would he be real? There is poison in this man that tides unseen to him. Hemlock and wolfsbane curl up to him like a fresh asp. The poison, which looks like wine, drinks like a poison, as if the body the man is wearing cannot exist. The man is not a parking lot. He feels like one. The man holds a suburb on his open chest. By his expenses will we know him? Footwear, oven, sofa, gas. He will know by his expenses, ticket, cable, laptop, suit. He will know unto expenses, arm bone, liver, shoulder, tooth, all his thirst and old poison, truth won't slake, yet it exists. We were so vulgar like family. Symmetry trifles the freckle. Flattery fears potted meat. At husky gates, tasseled devotions. I am always a new stare in the spring. Whitecaps spilt to teeth as your breath turned. If the sun moved, curved aspects would resolve thingness differently. To be the shadow itself would be simpler. Lying there, there in the ocean, salt-thinking waves, sifting paper, squaring sand. The soprano, forgotten, sang white strips of quartz. I expanded like ice. The rock dropped each time, and each time the rock dropped, the rock rhymed with the sound of rock dropping, or contracted like fucking. Busted tin and loose dirt smells of cut crumpled stone, of the lie beneath each rebuilt city. I contracted like gulls. If the truth is a tempest, let the weather vane squeal. What is fucking? She graphed you, fucking steel. A stone, the most obvious one. It began when beginning was unavoidable and continued until ending first started. Arm back at that branch, sink the branch, sink the branch, sink that floaty, floaty jelly, come jelly fucker. In the storm, you will let a round boy like a rock be pulled shouting from the cave of your belly. Such seaweed streak lanterns, such mica frail feet. Fate is the thing we say to say the happened thing happened. If the sun moved, if the water. Aunt Rose. Excuse me 1 second. They never know from the duster the way you know it. They bite your hands when you murmur memos against the sink. Straighten chairs, chairs unstraightened. The war unmentioned has always been the only war. Aunt Rose, I'm in love with your strange collections, with the tenor of hallucination inside your throat. The intellect of paranoia manifests in knotted ties. Lawyer, doctor, doctor, lawyer, lawyer, shrink. This is another letter. Bro said, oh, let the bee be about a baby. But Bo said no. And so they brawled with brine and broom, with bug and bile, with bear and broth. What is old isn't always what's lucid, I said, laying a pebble on my head to hold the thought. And if a crow can throw a straw down from your balcony, Bro said, then hey, hey, Robin, hey, Robin, where is our nest? A test. To hospital then, where the bright ones all snuffle unslept. Listen, a babe roars while its foot dances. Hear it whistling like a catamount, like a mountain, a panther, like a cougar, like a puma. Yes, mountain lion. Hear the beep beep machines do their utmost to drown thought, and know a hospital shows its hospitality with reluctance, with glare and roar and half helpful blare of hostile sounds. But let this baby hiccup unhampered, and let this baby feel its hunger, and let this baby know its meaning. And now, now let it be held to a warming chest. Let it deafen just briefly, the left ear of the uncle who jostled it. And let it be lauded, let it be loved, let it be loved. Let it pee at inopportune moments on the favorite clothes of its least favorite godparent. Let it be, when it must be, unsatisfied. And let it be an animal, satisfied. Let it snort, let it chortle, let it too soon roll its eyes. Let it learn its humor, choler, bile, its grace, its grace. Okay, last one. Another letter, there we go. It's probably upside down. From the dream, a waking moment, sheets flying into roof, cosmos receding, little pillow a peppermint against bed clouds. Sleep up now, it stays cool there, until your mint melts into a comet. A jolt of sweat, a jolt of waking, a shake of dawn to uncalm your mind. Here, no one knows, and no one seems not to, that the world is not asleep or woken. You could watch words in clouds reforming, as if our worlds are of their shape. Now brush your hair into an answer, push out against an airy gate. At the creation of creation, no one knew we would create. How did we wake? Go up and sleep now. How do we wake its sleep? To be real, a dream must be heavy with oysters. But you are dry now, are blue, are gold now, liquid and solid with every thought. Ah. And how did you get to this place with no truth? By reassembling, by vaulting history. The true self is unencumbered by a true selfhood. Oyster, your eye. And that's it.
Great. Thank you, Eli. Beautiful stuff. All right. We're going to keep going now with further sounds, deeper and deeper into outer space with a Motley Quintet. And now we're going to hear from Leah Barber, live in Amherst, Massachusetts, completing the spiritual Bermuda Triangle between Emily Dickinson, James Tate, and Leah Barber, now entering to lose all ships going up into the stratosphere. Chicago, the Barber line, gathering with the wind, taking speed off the lakes, off the Great Lakes that are sent via windmail from Toronto Alley down south to Chicago, to Leah's window, poets playing telephone across the Great Lakes, and picking up that amethyst telephone in Amherst with the hauntology gravestone chess players. Therefore, we have Leah Barber, adept at sacrificing the queen, bringing the pawn to the last square, and surprise, a new queen rises. Leah Barber.
Wow, thank you, Philip. I'm really excited to read with some of my closest friends. I owe it all to Motley. I have also curated a Motley poo-poo platter. We were reading Lear last night, so I'm going to start with a poem about Lear that I wrote in Motley a few months ago. We read Lear a lot. Okay. This is called Poem Written 6 months after reading Lear. The cause of history, a basic irrationality surrounded by lives. The past, a dictator, says love, a collective orgasm in the presence of reality. The drum kicks in sadly at the joke. I don't want to be in the ground. I want to be in the world and to protect myself from it. This is a rigid art that sings inward like the shame flower in domesticated green. Will it all be destroyed? Definitely. I will hear it on my radio in the 22nd century. It will be like a snow globe inside me. Life barbaric and delicate, lyric. Poem for an equinox. I dip my dirty hand into a new tub of lotion. A loss of faith seems the only way forward. Earth is more than surface. We've barely touched it, the past, and it goes away constantly. Squeeze the foam like a wild card, a blue joker out of me. It's oral and anarchic, nothing but hell. I want a baby. Milky vetiver, there are signs on the mountains, and death loves desertion. No, survival does. And survival looks like death, but it isn't. When you die, another you appears immediately, and that's annihilation. List poem to dispel jealousy. This is also a prose poem. You may or may not be able to tell. Frederica Mayrocker and Mario Santiago Papasquario both use the figure 1 to mean one, the pronoun meaning a person and the number 1. Their poems might then be read as lists that never accumulate, like a cloth hand towel on loop in a rest stop. One might be in one's bed wishing one were in another's bed. One might really want to die right now. Colin just sent one an email that reads proof of snow penis with an attached image. As one might imagine, this was irresistible to one and caused one to be distracted from one's list. One then went on to reread one's text with one, to find a trace of the warmth similar to what one shared with one's ex-girlfriend, who was 22 at the time she wrote that sentence in an email about dropping everything to please one, which one wishes one had not read and also wishes one had written oneself. One feels very close to death thinking of one's ex-girlfriend as someone who was 22. Writing this out, one realizes that one is really fucked. One sees one concrete cast of one hand and one tarot deck one got as a gift and has never opened. One feels a torpor that lasts the whole day, like being alone inside one movie theater in the morning. This counts as one list because it is one's emotions accumulating. One liked when Ashbery wrote, "Sleep, a dumb love." One liked reading about his early life, the apple farm, the bully who stole his poems at boarding school and passed them off as his own. One rooted for him to keep writing, and this was a happy feeling because one knows he did. One might root for oneself to keep writing, as though one were a favorite writer from the past and the future is predetermined. Through this, one could reclaim the future, which is sanity. The Mirror of Simple Souls. I do not like old water. The water in the ocean is old. The lake is old, but maybe it's not, subject to the logic of time, of old and new, water. When we sat on a slab of flat rock, I was repulsed until I felt you behind the museum. When I was lost in water, I understood, but I won't tell you. I looked at the round mirror affixed to the tree. The round mirror affixed to the tree reminded me of the Mirror of Simple Souls, which I had read for class earlier that year. The Mirror of Simple Souls is about the 7 stages of annihilation the soul goes through on its path to oneness with God through love. The title, The Mirror of Simple Souls, implies that a book is a mirror. It cures the soul of its complication by manipulating its reflection or revealing it. A book, like a mirror, is held to the face. Complication or simplicity lies on the surface, in the face. If language is sullied through use, is this use? Each moment of wakefulness is followed by delusion. To suffer means to be acted upon. When I think of you, I want to make a picture of you so I can keep you. A glass of milk with ice, the elegant cross of your arms in a sleeveless top. The hair is love, it bothers the face. This next poem is called Dirty Boulevard, obviously named after the Lou Reed song, Dirty Boulevard. Dirty Boulevard. The freedom of love, it astounds me when we walk by the furniture stores with their water beds as big as houses on the dirty boulevard. Loneliness is pitiful. Freedom is my dream. I always forget it. The pornographic dream of a vista. You're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get it, and then you're gonna lose it. All like the stars, uninterrupted and sweet. A website of snow, so red, it stains your eye, stains your eyes green and red when you look away from it. This is a Sag poem, poem written in winter with a line from Mechthild von Magdeburg, who was a Christian mystic who wrote in Low German. God said, I couldn't help but be God. The romance between the maid and the Lord, the androgynous prelapsarian body. Resurrection because the world thinks of us. Second life because it sees us. Let the mind recognize itself in the kitchen. It will ask for nothing like sleep. Only a trace of it will remain in the body. Who made this book? I made it with my powerlessness. To live, lie down in snow. Love is beautiful. It can be abused. I'm realizing like every one of these poems has the word love in it. Okay, 2 more. This is called Ballad, written in Motley. Full moon tonight, and these clouds are a dune, a 24-hour gong, the louder the better. To love, see everything as time, and feel time as obsession, a pain like chewing gum in the subarctic while you chase your demon across the breaking ice. Will it be different from perfection, death, so moral? A black pomade in my hair, no, a clear red, like an embryo in an oily glass. I am tired now from my meal. I want to touch you with my eyes closed, like someone learning. Not every word is saved by its ending. I don't want any words here but my own. I'll love this passion inside doubt. I'll love it for what it is, philosophy. And I'm going to end just like I started with Shakespeare. This is called Notes on Antony and Cleopatra, the play. Medea was a pharmacon, my oblivion. Later, you will really lose. Antony, so tough, he drank horse piss. The secret, use everything. Address someone who is not history, deep gossip, absence. All is horizon. It is unskillful to eat your tool. Rome happens when you really start falling apart. In August, how do we surrender youth or try not to surrender it? Intrinsicate not, a neologism for war begins with nay. Supersaturation rips you apart nightly to create the night, Isis and Osiris, as water is in water, women's secrets darkening. I saw the back of a black hole living here, shattered by the horizon effect. Ultra chartreuse Venus, that youth. It was pissed out of us in the spring water, an ancestral urge to taste for poison. Time is out of joint, dripping slowly toward Christ. You go there is talk. You go there and you talk, and that's history. Doubt, the wounded chance to think in public. Body is gossip hidden in nets. Its shadow a defect. The language ravishes. Turn the ship around. I will follow you. The eye where the nay was. The worm will go through the guts of the beggar king. A crooked elegy digested. We will give up everything to experience each other at the severest limits of our lives, out of time, in Judas's unnaturalness and villainy. The messenger, the real messenger, form, a lengthy suicide, effacing the whole dream. Thank you.
Yeah. Intrinsic not, and splitting it apart. Thank you, Leah. All right, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Beautiful listening to the sounds of the Motley Quintet hurtling deeper and deeper into outer space till we could hear those radio waves coming back at us. Now saturated with the energy of rebirth, resurrection, renaissance. Casper Lee is next, and we're going to hear from Casper, the Sagittarian Express, shooting those arrows down onto the snowy slopes of Montana and skiing in between them all the way down with a record time, spinning and scratching that record on the way down. And wow, just wow. I mean, like, incredibly lucky to meet Casper and to listen to this rare combination of scientific forensics level research dialoguing with total panache, flamethrower, whisper, sotto voce, mutable fire to all levels indeed. The mixing board has melted down behind the forehead. And thank God for that, because now instead we can listen to Casper Lee.
Thank you. And thank you to Carolyn and Chloe and Eleanor and Anselm and Fong, everyone at the Brooklyn Rail, and to all the people here from various realms of my life. I feel surrounded by like a web of close ones, many of whom I've never even seen their legs. I've only seen their heads online, but that doesn't stop me from being so happy that you're here. And many of whom I have seen their legs. I'm going to start with one called All the Time. All the time, anointing and anointing in order to cover a far distance and dying more when it's not. You have good taste because your mouth can open. This puke bag on a plane and all the bags like it has the patent number 7041042. The long self, the long story, so long, I long for a creek, wanting it, the willows around it, the trees around, aspens if I could. That repeating question, who will fuck me? Bathed but unanointed today, dried out by the water I sat in but didn't drink. Need, grease. Maybe we can stop at a health food store. We can do anything you want. And why that turns me on so much to be told what I can do, which is anything, almost anything. I am not riding an airplane, I am being ridden and therefore booked a ticket. I enter all documents scared into the middle, then before finishing, gone back to the beginning, the hard part being going away into it long enough to go back through. Tiny red blood on the windshield, community, horror, house on a dry hillside, hay stacked up in a haystack, all fenced in. Look for a view and then build under it. You and your neighbors, my neighbors. If I don't live in a town called Pony, I'll cry. If I see any roadkill, if I kill any roadkill, I'll cry. Bear wallow, Maws hollow, ransom silvers, Wits End Road, attend, attendin, attention, attention. I have a mild foot cramp. Foot cramp? Mild. Slug on the pizza, on the porch, after delivery. How'd it get in the box? Banana pepper, banana slug, incessant bug sounds, waves of them. We ate them. I want to be kept company, but not like that. A state of being is a bit of information. Homesick, but what for? Oblivion. The thing you're outside of is in there with you. Someday I'll forage and find you. That laugh is a jackrabbit laugh, stroking the bunny fur, caught in a snare. Bad child, bad, mild, horrid, beauty. I'll work for every last person I admire until I remember they're just people, propped up or spinning an undertow, an instrument or just jingling. The trash is gone, trash you left in my car, really. Fresh sheets lover, floor to ceiling lover, through the wall lover, below zero lover, gone south lover, occasional lover, other lover, garlic lover lover, aisle seat lover, water by the bed lover, stop by the pawn shop lover, rhythmic lover, me first lover, part of the group lover, are you mad at me lover? Push you away lover, unshockable lover, electric bill lover, no solicitors lover, dead as a doornail lover. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm still there. And we'll do a short one. This one's called Weed Whack. I'm charging multiple lithium batteries at once. I'm letting dirt and stones and bits of weed smack my bare legs. I'm wearing shorts. I dream Nancy Reagan's ice cream truck is parked in front of my house, poisoning kids from the past. Okay, I'm gonna do a really crazy messy one from last night in Motley, because why not? Yes, my heart, okay, I gotta start over. Yes, my heart is hard for you, sprouts out for you. Yes, I'm still afraid to wear the cock for you, or I don't yet have one, that's correct. But you said yourself when you're fucking me, it's like I'm fucking you. Is there any cause in nature that makes these hard hearts? Help us see what breeds about a heart. Not stone faces brought to stone, but hearts pumped to the brim with blood, chock full of living. Maybe it's the lack of a valve. How's everyone doing? I love to see to be able to look up and see see people that I know. This one's called Give Me a Tender Genius, Not a Wind Relentless. And it's gonna actually spill on into a little piece of a collaboration that's ongoing. You know who you are. Give me a tender genius, not a wind relentless. Stooped over sad man in overalls, heart closing like mine under slouch. I can fix it and used to have a head start. Disposable washing machines, exploitation priority, phone more place than tool. I am a tool it's using to create itself. Count one by one the flowers growing in my brain, incredibly receptive. Water relates to water in everything. Pull myself from the web, the subtle strands I'm tethered to. Guide wire chorus, chorus androgynous. Swerve every bug on the highway, meant not to possess the ability to die. My photographic operation system. If I die by not looking and taking this picture, my leaks are spilling. Perhaps there is a tap running. Your house is too big. Your house is too big for vows to my art. My half a rock, side effect of you being where you are. Winchester, varmint master, bolt action rifle. We'll get her figured. Maybe I'm close to the animals because you won't see me. Crazy Debbie's fireworks on Pryor Road. Doc Allen, Plenty Coup, and another Frank Lindbergh. The churches of Joliet welcome you. Ragweed circle. That's not what people love you for. Continuing on. I dreamed the all genders restroom was called Developing and had a cafe inside. I had moon gear in my hand, looked behind me and saw someone I dated. Clearing away brush trying to get to you, by which I mean suitors, online. I'm screaming blue on blue into the algorithm so it knows I'm as blue as I can be. Lester from the CDC called wanting to ask me some questions as a public service about vaccinations and kids. I said, I don't have kids. He said, well, there you go, you're in luck. And we both cracked up. I'm driving up north, but to me it doesn't feel like north. Lipstick, wildflowers, counters, soup as new, duffel bag of Barbies, K-names, Husky, Jiffy, blew on through, cattle-born Victoria, sextet, I have to kill you by going to you, reaching through me to get to your heart. Oh, goody, I thought when the psychic spoke to three horses, entered their field, she said, became each one, just one of those things that pepper the day. A trash bag in barbed wire is more alive because the place is. I think we're getting close to the end. Okay. I kind of really want to do this one that's just the word cup a lot. I feel like we need the word cup a lot. Psalms. Cup runneth, run over cup, overrun cup, cupped over cup, run, estranged from our own most strange cup experience. Run over cup, estranged, running over to the cup, to be the cup, to be cupped, to be the copper mug full of cards with cups on them. 1 of 2 of 3 of 4 of 5 of 6 of 7 of 8 of cups. 8 of cups, suit up, suit jacket, dressed to the 9 of cups. 10 of cups, that's a page from the cups. That's a knight of the cups. That's a green queen, king. I do have the hiccups. Am shuddering cups periodically to a biblical or lover's rhythm. Trying a slow cup. And then if it fills, keeping filling it faster, cupping it further up to God, lifting it to his lips, the lip of the cup, lipping it up, laps of the rim of the cup, little cat tongue, attracting the laps. Oh shit, I wanted this cup. I drew it in my little notebook, drew the holding it does, as long as I live. Okay, I'll just do one more really short one to end. And I just wanted to also, since we're talking about love, speak my love for the people of Palestine into the room. That's what's here with me today. I don't know what that means, that underpass. I tried so hard. Columns and a body, candle through as verb, parted mouth, parted curtain, putting flesh over symbol, a holiday in this country. My task is transcription, and that is my love. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Casper. Gorgeous stuff. Tough stuff, raw. Nerve engines, all thrusters to full as we carry on with the hurtling speeds of a Motley quintet. Now reaching the sideways rolling orbits of Uranus, the sky god planet, and Ali Pinkney, live from Toronto, the wind of the Great Lakes going everywhere. Ali sweeps through New York City on a tour last spring, and I meet her in Chinatown, and we look up with Harry at the purple string light corners going everywhere. And every few blocks we walk, there are further and further purple string light corners. There is a leitmotif to awareness, and Ali will take us through it. And just when we think we know where we are, the refreshment of the unexpected, Ali Pinkney.
Hello. Thank you so much, Philip. And thank you everybody at the Brooklyn Rail and everybody who's tuned in now and who will be tuning in later to listen. Is the volume at which I am speaking perfect? Yes? Okay. Awesome. Okay. Hi, I'm Ali. I'm going to be reading some fragments from my novel called Ossidax, which is named for a genus of bone-eating marine worm that was discovered in the Monterey Canyon in 2002. The narrator is a woman with anorgasmia who believes she's tethered to a whale fall. And the novel is her attempt to disintegrate the carcass with her mind, in the hopes that it's the cause of her dysfunction as she sort of senses. Okay. Brachial. Our story concerns specific mixed proprioception, orientations of segmentary unity. Mine did whisper proposals for relations. Pluralist topographies, these ones, interval fluids of dissolution, wizening constituency with consequential divisibility, a response. Musculature's organizations, as proper, as way of the sense, as if, as within me, melted into what I knew I shouldered in the exteroceptive sense, as in knew to sense apart from me, but sensed as part of me, with, from without. Sentenced with its registered breath work and ongoing history in anaerobic grist. Unwittingly, I co-conceived another to devour the other, me piece of warranted, unwanted, proprioceptive verve. Wail of me, to be clear with me. Pasty glare of a forked moon in the kiln of colostrum. I did not invent the whale, it just fell. I did not tether myself to the whale, it latched to my idle umbilicals. This ecosystem emerged autonomously. Holy mystery. Consciousness is ambulatory, my whole way of things. Colostrum given to this text, colostrum given to me, my whole way of being. No invocation, no flotsam, jetsam, only fluke before unframing under one paling orange sun, finally on the paling sky of blue. Both set me. I need them both. I see it in two over the willows from the wood duck lagoon. I sit alone on a rock here with my feet in the grass. Feel how fragile the female is, how watchful the male behind her, the other male off in the distance with careful ambivalence, sympathetic ambivalence, algae so green and so near me. Outside of the structure I believed in and exploited first, raw trills in pink tones. I believe in the hard substrate, my departure from the area, hydrothermal vents, brine pools. Needs will not breathe, so to be inside the core of the bones of this me piece. Exploit the lipids and it will go away. Old marrow, digest the fattiness, embrace the fat, slurp the marrow and tripe of it, enjoy the butter, the topaz, set the dead one free. Press the pale orange sun into the pale blue of the sky like a wax drip seal, smoosh. Two unfit figures on their paddle boards blare party rhythm and bass in the estuary at Sunnyside Beach. The men put me in this position. Motherhood, marrow again, density of the bones versus fertility drugs versus sex safety versus society. The women did too. I got me here. I got me cetacean, slipping off this terrain into vastness gone vertical fin. Something vaster, bigger to hold the me the terrain stopped netting. Flipper out of service, cervix. A world full of mystery in darkness, fishnets scarred my upper thighs. Here form and division cease to create the distance of relations, which are the perceptions that hurt our heart. Perceptions that hurt us in our duplicity. They're conglomerating, featureless globsters, which calcify with words the melt of the sun when finally beached out like today. A whale is too heavy for that sometimes. Mammal friend, you milk. 4 chambers in likeness, hair, cow, hideous and beautiful. These are my words, I'm no whaler. Denied the blubber, reached for the butter, told not to use the butter, think of your heart. Denied the blubber, reached for the butter, told not to use the butter, think of your banker. Oil lamps for fishies in the dark. Oil lamps like ersatz moons inside our houses, inside our huts, inside the humps within which we live and what it is in those we carry. Gaola Pombalina, anti-seismic wooden cage hut. Paternalize her. Lack, need, desire, profit. The banker keeps my butter. Uterine colostomy jib. This is as apt an analogy as I can use to depict the magnitude. I try to metabolize even when it's something less than distinct, just by way of the malleable foils and copper metaphor, pointed, prone to erosion, the bends. Oh, hear me out. It's floral, the polyps of this worm moss as garden beds treat lumber like a cedar ladder, even so resilient. Value resilience, hiss it. And I've been in these ivory walls so long, my vocal style is trailed by this metallic accordion around halls of chalk streaks. I lament the way it can sketch me silhouetted, open onto the pornograph, open onto the swan song. No containers, not now. The venue altered our perception of the passing days. May or may not, Stegosaurus like mace. Spider webs of the intermezzo. This is about the fishing nets that catch men who walk by the sides of our houses after dark. It's my house. My house has a big insoled spider who sews lean ropes in evenings out in front of the kangaroo pouch. Our sun prolapses with its rhythmic marigold. Brothel world for the asexual young woman in repair. dry wheat's astringent petals or zebra seeds. We've been hazily expended into rhyme. Our muscles of light wood smell huffs into sky over yeasty tongues in our yard. Tongues covered in a plaque as thick as banana pith, emerging out of car windows covered in enzymes, spit, breath that fogs up the glass with resistance. While I'm unsure of him, this good man I've taken into my arms and draw with my finger a circle on the grass. Okay. While the narrator is attempting to disintegrate the carcass, she is also on tour with her then boyfriend's band. Valencia, Spain. Purple bridge lights the moon. My relationship to the moon in the car in Valencia. We are directed to a factory in the night to receive the new credit card, an expiry cause. We try to explain to the factory workers in English. This is where the promoter thought it convenient for us on our way to the airport to receive the new credit card, but nobody understands what we are there for. They think we need food. They open the enormous garage door and there's huge white light and huge men with big mallets. They call their families with concern to arrange for us to eat. They're calling their husbands and wives. I feel like I could potentially be useful now, here, if only here and now, but I am absolutely not useful. It's after midnight. We had to park down the road and walk to this factory down a narrow hill. Everything was so confusing and nobody knew how to communicate. It was confusing for them too, why we're at the factory in distress. We distressed them too. We tried drawing credit card on paper. We tried drawing envelope on paper. We tried drawing mailbox system on paper. It made no sense. Waffles, we had to leave with nothing. The moon is beautiful, kind of purple sky. We listen to the radio. We pull into a campsite that is closed, but keys are left out for us. We go into our robin's egg, the three of us. People in the dark are mobilized on scooters, and I wish we could explore like them, but it's dark, we're tired. We each sleep on separate beds. There are fold-out bunks. They all have woven matter to slip into. Cow Bay, Nova Scotia. Night sky, the smell of pus, the knowledgeable scar tissue that opened through retrospect to likeness as if shark bleed. I'd come to deem it abject in the tepid surprise of feminine waters for my inability to look of me out there. I looked at the kelp that lined the shore, downwards look of the demure of the lowly nematode, lowly in the digestion of the experience of receptive, repetitive societal force, acid deposits and erosion, lowly in an ability to suck the center hollow. I looked at the black crab. I thought unbleached. I thought red, bad, dead crab, la violence du soleil, masculine sun. I thought, let's catch it and show Fritz how we are with our palms and our ability to catch when he least expects it. I thought I should let it be, Noli me tangari, golden principle, my brethren in starlight. I touched the crab's back, and it takes a prick of my blood on its spine to give Cow Bay in a bow. Unidentified Spanish countryside. I watched a man move a black poodle by a string through a sidewalk gutter filled olive green with fallen leaves limped to exhaustion under the steady languor of sun. Two guards stood at a crosswalk under a pedestrian signal. One's face was obscured by a dark balaclava and an additional cloth tied over the mouth. The other, face exposed, held a submachine gun to his shoulder. The leaves don't seem to change color here, Fritz noted as he figured out the manual transmission of our red rental car in the lot. Checking lanes behind us as we exited Madrid off the M30 orbital swerve, Fritz wistfully announced, "Fall in Spain," to no one in particular. As we whooshed past the ancient red sawdust of the countryside along the A6, our small car grew a glade of whistle grasses out of its lacquer as if an automotive kelp rock. Giorgio Moroder played golden disco hits loud from the dashboard over Bluetooth from Sam's device in the backseat. I had the shotgun window ajar for the mossy air. Sometimes I put my hand out just enough to feel our velocity on my palm, but not much more than that. A couple times I felt the whip of growing grasses scissor with the wind on my fingertips. A consistent swelter of heat massaged a flaccidity throughout. Wig of dark weeds, fresh pressed pigskin, tattered mop formation, exercising for a comely fiber optic blade state. I could feel the juvenile root system discover traction in a turbulence against our motion on the cool eucalyptus air, loosening the scalp of it. Scalp of the red car, red scalp, cherry. As we passed the occasional ruin, the dying grasses fought and failed to transfer their chlorophyll to the vehicle as each blade fell to its crisp incineration by sun. Scraggly wet-nosed primates with trunk tails clung to the smooth red car shell, paws fixed under the thirsty grasses, amassing as straw clumps as hay. There were two, one hot raspberry pink and one dyery blue. Long-limbed, their clawless, padded feet arched tensely on to stay at our 160 miles per hour. I could sense in the reserved yet tense way the animals gripped the car and its parts, the crevices between them that they wanted not exactly in, but traction. They were only mildly curious of us inside. Periodically, on the infrequent electricity poles at the edges of towns, there were sizable nests I'd assumed were for buzzards we never saw. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ali. Thank you. So wonderful to propriocept with you all. You have been listening to the sounds of a Motley Quintet. Thank you all for coming. Filip Marinovich, Eli Briskin, Leah Barber, Casper Lee, and Ali Pinkney. Good afternoon from outer space.
Wow. Thank you all so much for your readings. That was amazing. And thank you everyone today for joining. And if you're free tomorrow, we're doing this again at 1 p.m., a conversation between Peter Freeman, the gallerist, and Phyllis Tuchman, with a concluding reading by Emily Martin. And next Wednesday, we'll be hosting at the same time a poetry reading curated by Camelia Youssef. I welcome you all to turn on your microphones and say hello and goodbye as you leave. And so much gratitude to everyone for being in this space today and for your readings.
Thank you so much, everyone. Those readings were amazing.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you. So amazing.
Much. Thank you.
Thank you all for your readings.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Leah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Philip.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you,
Thank you,
Casper.
Casper.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you, Ali.
Guys.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody.